If you've been watching the previous handful of videos, congratulations! You have officially grown from a little minnow into a big fish, and it's high time that you learn how to carry yourself with big fish energy. Now I know learning is a bit of a foreign and frightening concept for a handful of you, but we're all going to get through this in one piece. Even those of you that take well over an hour and a half to watch 60 Minutes or spend all night studying for urine tests. You aren't stupid, despite what everyone else says, you're just uneducated on the subject matter. Today we are going to learn industry terms and how to shut down every ultimate in Marvel Rivals. We need to learn the terms because the terms apply to the skills that we will use to break down these ultimates. Casuals, you can thank me later, or, you can send me my flowers now if you'd like, I'm not very picky. First up is your vocab review, and you better sit down and listen intently. It's important for the rest of the video and any learning about characters that you will do henceforth. First up are movement abilities. Pretty self-explanatory here, they get you from point A to point B faster than walking, hence the word movement. I don't need to go in depth about how you can use a dash to escape a big red circle. If I do, I apologize, but this probably ain't the place for you, and may God bless your heart. Next up are hard CC abilities. This stands for hard crowd control. What this umbrella includes are any abilities that force a character out of the user's control. If you're still confused, here are all the examples of hard CC currently available. Penny's Web Stun, Spider-Man's Web Pull, Hulk's Shout, Hela's Orb, Bucky's Hook, and Logan's Lunge. There's 3 more, but I didn't include them because they have slower throw times, so they're a little wonky. Those are Luna's Freeze, Mantis's Sleep, and Scarlet's Bubble. The ultimates that have hard CC will include Doctor Strange's, Spider-Man's towards the end, Hulk's Grab out of his ultimate, Namor's ultimate, and Jeff's ultimate. Now is soft CC, or soft crowd control, also known as the whiskey dick of crowd controls. This covers fucking with movement, but not in a severe lockdown sort of way. You're still ambulatory. It's more of a hindrance than anything. We're talking slowing, shoving. Here's the list of them. Magneto's secondary fire, Thor's dash, Venom's slam, Captain America's slam, Hawkeye's sonic arrow and katana slash, Magic's uppercut, Squirrel Girl's trap, Iron Fist's kick, and Cloak's blind. Ultimates will include Groot's, Venom's, Penny's sweeps, and Widow's puddle. Don't worry, we're almost done. Projectile denial is another one of those simple ones, but here's why I separate it from our next category. You can still strike through it with melee attacks. This includes Captain America's shield, Doctor Strange's shield, Magneto's shield, Punisher's turret, kinda, and Magneto's ultimate. Invulnerability is the big middle finger standing high above them all. There ain't a goddamn thing taking you out until this effect is not on you anymore. Assume this will directly counter any burst damage ultimate. This includes Hulk's transformations and his bubble, Magneto's bubble, Hela's crow, Magic's portal, Scarlet's fade, Namor's bubble, Star-Lord's dash, Iron Fist's block, and Loki's crystals, kinda. The ultimates this covers will be Psylocke's, Jeff's until his activation, and Storm's until her activation. The last vocab bit I got is about gold health bars. Gold equals hard CC immune, but open to soft CC. This includes Punisher's turret, and the rest are ultimates for Luna, Storm, Logan, Punisher, Magneto, Venom, Bucky, and Cloak. Oh, and then there's the fucking Groot wall, which is a wall, and it's a wall. Now I'm able to refer to those terms and save you a ton of time going forward. Okay, here's how you deeply upset people by ruining all of their ultimates after this long-winded explanation. Adam's revive is going to be shut down by Moon Knight in general, a hungry Bucky, or really any ability that excels at making a localized area really fucking miserable for people with low health. Yes, I know there are bots. We did what we could with what we had. Most of this is in the practice range because it was impossible to set up all these situations in a timely manner in a natural way. For Black Panther's ultimate, obviously invulnerability works, but there's a better option. Use some fashion of hard CC to knock him out of it when he's busy charging. Just make sure it's not one of the slow-casted ones. I prefer ranged stuns only because you don't really want Black Panther close to you in this situation. Also, Groot walls work. Black Widow's ultimate is pretty easy to counter, all things considered. She screams at the top of her goddamn lungs when she fires it, so it really doesn't get any more obvious than that. Any projectile denial or invulnerability can block this attack, but there's one that's better than the others. Normally, the shielding effect will just shatter the plasma burst and reflect it a little bit. However, in the case of Magneto, he just absorbs it completely. Captain America's ultimate can be negated simply by ignoring Captain America. You don't want to burn an ultimate off of this, because he's likely going to get no kills just like he was doing before. Send some heals in the general area of where he's attacking and you'll be a-okay. There's not a chance in hell you're going to get Cloak out of their ultimate without burst damage ultimates like Scarlet's, Namor's, Iron Man's, a charged up Magneto, or a single Hawkeye arrow. Your other two options are simple. You counter with another support ultimate on point, or you walk the fuck off point. Believe it or not, Doctor Strange has one of the easiest ultimates to cancel in-game because he telegraphs it for an hour and a half beforehand. You knock him out with hard CC, block with shields, or pop invulnerability to avoid it. It's got a very long, obvious charge-up time, so when Doctor Strange gets aggressive towards you after a while and starts yelling, expect it to be coming. Groot ultimate is easy to block, but goddamn is it harder than Chinese arithmetic to predict. He shouts after firing it, so preventative measures may not necessarily work if you're just using your ears. You can only really predict its use when he drops his shoulders down like he's going to tackle you, but even then it's a half second. Projectile blocks, invulnerabilities, and hard CC will all work, but it's just so fucking difficult to predict. It may actually be worth burning a support ultimate to prevent your team dying from a Groot trap. It's not a death sentence because you can still use all of your abilities retroactively, but it is still very dangerous. Hawkeye's ultimate is a bitch to deal with. I personally think your best move is immediately countering with Magneto's ultimate. Answering a fuck you with an even greater and more violent fuck you is very deserved for him. You can also survive temporarily with shields and invulnerability, but they won't last very long. Your only other real option is to break line of sight. With Hela, it's a bit of a team effort. From everything I've gathered, you need some fashion of shield tank to contend with this, or a single Iron Man. You probably want Doctor Strange more than anyone else here. While he floats up and blocks, everybody else needs to gather around and empty into her like a cougar in a frat house. Hulk is not at all that difficult to prevent. Provided you have hard CC that lasts for a while, you can burn the overwhelming majority of his ultimate to the point where he becomes useless. If not, all you need is one canonically accurate Wolverine who's really pissed off. Iron Fist isn't exactly easy to counter, but if you use a movement ability and backup, he's gonna die. He can only block for so long, and provided you stutter step your first few shots, you'll be okay, he will waste it. If you need a specific solution, cycling Squirrel Girl's instant cooldown on traps will make him nearly unplayable. Iron Man may have the most counter possible ultimate in the game. Projectile denial, movement abilities, invulnerability, and hard CC will either cancel or reverse his ultimate effect. Fan-favorite solutions seem to be Captain America and Magneto, but literally anything can fuck this guy's ultimate up. Jeff is right next to Iron Man in terms of how easy it is to counter his ultimate, but everyone seems hell-bent on acting otherwise. When you haven't seen Jeff eat somebody in a while, keep an invulnerability charge in your back pocket. Either that, or use anything that can turn your health bar gold. How the fuck do you expect me to tell you how to counter Loki's ultimate? His ultimate is everybody else's ultimate. Luna Snow is pretty high up there in terms of bullshit ultimates. The only thing that's gonna knock her out is a violent burst of damage. This means Iron Man's ultimate, Scarlet's ultimate, a highly charged Magneto ultimate, or 2 Hawkeye arrows for some fucking reason. Magic is like a middle ground between Hulk and Iron Fist. Wherever she is, crowd control it, get the fuck out of the way, and you'll be fine. When you get a really good magic against you, they will be smart enough to start in your backline, and those are the cases where you'll probably want to punch a healing ultimate of some kind. Just try to drag it out beforehand so yours lasts longer than hers. The Magnet is immune to crowd control and projectiles. The only thing you can do here in his ultimate form is gonna be block or move out of the way. Also, refrain from shooting him in his ultimate mode because he's just going to absorb it and add it to his damage stacks. However, with enough bullets, it will break the meteor, but you're not getting Magneto's that dumb, so don't try. Mantis's ultimate is like Luna's ultimate, but it's actually got some semblance of fairness. You can do enough burst damage from various different ultimate sources and, you guessed it, 1 Hawkeye arrow for some fucking reason. This is usually going to be an offensive ultimate for defensive ultimate trade if you don't want to wait it out. You can't crowd control Moon Knight out of his ultimate, and you can't effectively stand under it with invulnerability, so movement abilities are all you got. If you stay in the circle, it's going to kill your ass, so just get out of the goddamn circle. If you are in Namor's area of effect, you will not be able to use movement abilities. You need an invulnerability or a shield of some description. You're not going to catch him mid-animation, so don't try. Maybe it's just time to learn to stand behind your goddamn tank. Pee-wee gets well over 1000 health on her ultimate, so burst damage isn't exactly going to seal the deal. If Pee-wee is using her ultimate, they are attempting to make a play for point, so this would be an ultimate trade kind of situation where you want defensive or crowd control ultimates. All you're really doing here is burning the clock. Hulk with an ultimate is the best at this. You can also stomp out her ultimate early in its activation stage, provided you're quick enough. Most of the time, movement abilities won't get you out of Psylocke's range, and you can't hit her mid-ultimate. Your best options are invulnerabilities, or, strangely enough, grouping with your team. If your team is together, the ultimate will not be able to pick you off one by one, as it's trying to get you all to low health. If that's not available, it is worthy of burning a defensive ultimate to keep your support line alive. Rocket's ultimate is not at all difficult to prevent. Either you do damage to the construct, or you just stay out of the damage-boosted line of sight. Scarlet is up there as one of the easiest, if not the easiest ability to counter. It takes 6 to 7 business days to exist, and it can be denied through hard CC, invulnerabilities, or shields. Spider-Man's ultimate is actually kinda difficult to deal with, especially when reaction time is taken into consideration. You can get him out of it with CC, or survive via invulnerabilities and shields. I would suggest invulnerabilities or shields, because it fucking hurts. If the Squirrel ultimate is really that dangerous for you, I don't know what to say. You can shoot him if you want, otherwise use a movement ability or invulnerability if it's somehow gonna pull off a miracle and kill you. Star-Lord's ultimate can be a bit of a bitch to deal with, and by that I mean it's a complete bitch to deal with. This is another team effort similarly to Hela. You need to use some fashion of shield while the damage units kill Star-Lord. Otherwise, denying line of sight is about it, apart from countering with defense ultimates. If you catch Storm in her transformation portion with a hard CC, it will cancel the entire ultimate. If you don't, Storm actually has one of the best group killing ultimates in the game. The only thing that's going to knock her out of it is a massive burst of damage, because she becomes immune to crowd control and gets a sizable shield. Punisher's ultimate is similar to Storm in his immunity to crowd control. His damage output is going to tear through damn near everything, but it's not the end of the world, because most of the time his strategists forget to heal him. I don't know why, they just do. Stay out of his line of sight or hit him with a normal damage burst. Also, Magneto really fucks him up if you don't let the meteor overcharge. Thor is right there with Scarlet Witch. He's big, immobile, and above the whole battlefield. All you need to do is hit him with hard CC and the ultimate is over. If you don't have it, fine, invulnerability will suffice while you get out of his area of effect. Get out of Venom's ultimate by being invulnerable or just walking away. He's a 1-star. This isn't rocket science. A lot of you motherfuckers need to know how to stop Bucky's ultimate. When he gets up in the air, that means he's gonna come down soon. So get invulnerable or get the fuck out of the way. Use your movement abilities to not be where he is, and maybe, just maybe, stop walking single file out of spawn if you hear him killing your team over and over again. If Wolverine gets you in his ultimate, you're kinda fucked. If he waits on it, you can use a movement or invulnerability cooldown, but he's probably not gonna wait on it. Really the only thing to hope for here is that he has a tank that isn't you, and maybe you can get a defensive ability out there to save their ass in time. And there you have it. How to fuck up everybody's ultimate and deprive them of nice and enjoyable things. If I missed anything, feel free to leave it in the comments. Otherwise, remember your vocab words, Discord server is in the description, and have a good one.